Good day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. This is Pooja, and I'm a part of Code Ground. Our topic for today's session is how top recruiters prepare for the new hiring season. We'll try to talk about how to be the super recruiter this hiring season, how to land the ideal candidate you have been looking for your organization. We'll be addressing, say, the most commonly raised queries and bust the top myths. We have also arranged for the best in the industry to put their minds together for this presentation. We'll be taking questions, and together we can figure out the best way a recruiter today can make the right hiring decision and reach out to hidden talents. So what you see here is a brief sort of a flow of the session. As we go on with our presentation, you can feel free to raise any query or type in any suggestion or input. What you could also do is get in touch with us after the webinar, and we'll be happy to cover anything that hasn't been talked about today. We expect the webinar to go on for, say, 30 to 40 minutes, so let's just get on to business. Now, before we actually go hunting for solutions, let's first check if we are on the same page when it comes to some of the top pain points in the recruitment industry as such that needs to be addressed. Recruitment is definitely not shopping mall easy. You want a laptop, you just go pick it up. You want a software engineer, it's a little more tricky than that. It's extremely tricky driving traffic to your jobs. Increasing conversions is a Herculean task, guys. And we agree, right? We all agree on that. It's tough but crucial to move from recruiting thinking to the marketing thinking. A recruiter has to be your sales guy today. An outdated careers page is your worst nightmare. Engaging with top talent is challenging, especially holding their attention. Considering today's clutter, applicants just don't seem to reach the finish line, do they? You might make the mistake of missing out on passive candidates, and that's another big setback. And there are times when you're spending all this money on things without really knowing what works, and that's a huge minus. Being under a rock and not catching up with digitalization. And to an extent, we must say we're all guilty of this crime. And this, we all agree, needs to be dealt with. So now that we have that covered, let's move on with the presentation. So recruitment we see is, happens in cycles like how it is in most industries. When it comes to connecting with the right job opportunity, timing isn't like everything. But it's certainly one of the big guns, right? Tuning into industries and employees' annual recruitment cycle just might give you a decisive edge. That's the consensus of recruiters and employers with fingers on the pulse of the seasonal variations in hiring. Here's a quarter by quarter summary of how these hiring dynamics play out. This varies country to country, but very briefly, the first quarter is like a New Year's wave of hiring that happens, and sometimes peak of hiring corresponds with workplace factors that are only loosely related, like when people take vacations, etc. The second quarter is gearing up for the summer, and what's interesting here is for those who are looking for some new interns to test on, then this is a great time to actually try that out, as the students' availability for the summer internship projects would be relatively higher. The third quarter is when recruiters relax a bit and vacation plays a role. Now hiring slows down in July, but it ends up picking up at the end of August. And for those with more non-traditional but impressive employment background, there's an advantage to looking in relatively slow hiring months of say July and December. Fourth quarter, there is a rush, but then there is always a lull in the end. So let's look at some of the top predicted seasonal hiring trends of 2018 since we are wrapping up 2017. Most of us recruiters are gearing up for the new hiring season, right? In the jam-packed candidate-centric market, to actually get ahead of this hiring season, Recruiters should sort of stay on top of emerging trends in the industry. It's either play catch up or be gone. So here are a few, predicated hiring trends to help you bring in the new year with new recruits. The first one we have is interactive interviews. So interactive interviews is promising in terms of providing better insight. With this particular format, a recruiter provides a series of questions that the candidate has to answer with a certain time frame in hand. And then, that video is submitted to the invigilator, of course. One can actually get creative and, tweak this process according to their industry and their requirement. Next, we have evolving set of skill sets. So nowadays, not only the interview formats are adapting, but the skills that recruiters seek are also shifting. Recruiters need to understand that today there's a wide array of skills and assessments to explore. For example, there will be a rise in more niche candidate experiences and candidates with some specialized experiences, etc., especially when combined with relevant experience, will find greater success. And we agree with that, right? Candidates in control. So the ball is in their court, guys, whether we like it or not. So in 2018, candidate shortage may represent an unwanted trend that seems to be in its infancy right now. And because of that, some talented and highly qualified candidates are aware of the process and use it to make personal demands like more salary, other workplace benefits, etc. So as a result, most companies switch focus from what employees need to offer than what they actually really want. And this, we should try and curb this before it becomes a full trend in the coming year. Mobile recruitment, especially when we are looking at millennials and freshers to hire. What happens is mobile recruitment can be one of the most powerful game-changing hiring trend for this coming year. In fact, according to some statistics, more than say 70% of candidates visit a company's careers website via their mobile to check out career opportunities. So having an updated career site and having it mobile optimized is crucial. 13% of companies started investing in mobile recruitment. So guys, we should jump on this wagon and we'll surely drive quality workforce into our ways. Eventually, mobile recruiting is gaining momentum and hence more job applicants are being designed to just be just one click away, and it can actually be that easy sometimes. Social media. Now, social media channels allow a recruiter to target candidates. We all know that, yes. We know well that nowadays we've come to the point where social media platforms are dominating every aspect of our lives, and hiring is no exception. More than 65% of candidates say that they've used Facebook or other social media platforms to search for a job. Well, recruiters sort of still prefer job boards, but you will be left under a rock if you do not step up your game and catch up with social media. Candidates can interact, ask questions, the feedback is easy. It's very interesting that they can also share it with a suitable person that they feel would match the profile. That is another perk of social media amongst various others. We have actually done intensive webinars, especially targeting Facebook and LinkedIn individually, and about how to recruit through these social media platforms and how to make use of the sort of features available. So you can look them up if you're interested to know how to recruit better on LinkedIn and Facebook, etc. What we have next is the online assessment platform. Now, these assessment tools have been a huge success as they provide complete insight into a candidate's sort of the suitability, and they help get to a wide audience of varied demographics, all the while saving on a lot of time and money. So this is also being detailedly discussed in a webinar that we've done before. And if anybody is interested or anybody has any queries regarding this, we would gladly discuss it in more detail shortly after this webinar. Okay, so these are some of the trends that's coming up. Now let's look at, some hiring hacks that shouldn't be missed this season. If your recruitment cycle isn't going as well as you might have hoped, then hang on to your seats, as we're going to discuss how to understand the recruitment season and use them to make an informed decision. Point number one, prepare a marketing strategy. This, guys, is a holy grail. Personal branding is a requirement for remaining relevant throughout the year, no matter which season it is. Once you have cultivated a brand that represents your value to a desired employee, be very strategic and thorough about how you market your brand. Update your keywords. With social media gaining its popularity, you should update yourself with the dynamic nature of the market. Keep your careers page and your job description updated to match the fluidity of the market, and see that it's extremely optimized, it is SEO friendly, and make sure that it is keyword rich as well. Brand promotions. So, whether you're a company of a few looking to grow, or you're a large, humongous organization ready to expand internationally, or you're establishing an ideal brand representing your qualities, your goals, and your culture, this will go a long way to seed your organization in the minds of prospective employees. This also is very important to sort of create a sense of belongingness in your prospective employees, which leads to effective recruiting and even retaining to a great extent. Um, Next, we have building your network. So when it comes to recruitment, knowledge is power, right? What you know and who you know can have significant benefits. Time spent on networking can help recruiters expand their knowledge base and prove to be an extremely valuable investment. Polish your new look. So your virtual presence, your job description, your careers page, your social media presence, everything is a entire package. It defines who you are. So keeping a shiny look, that is extremely attractive to candidates, like, with the addition of interactive videos, interesting content. You just do whatever you have to do to keep them interested, and rest assured they will come back for more. And in today's clutter, this is the best way to get to them. I know I'm going on harping on this, but refresh your job description. Revamp it in a way so it looks appealing to the candidate without sounding mundane. You know what I'm saying? It has to be crisp and clear without any unnecessary clutter, so that you don't really drown the candidate with too much corporate jargons. Just talk to them, just hit on the right spots. Employ staffing agencies. Now, this is an optional suggestion, of course. So these agencies have special insights into recruiting trends and job opportunities, working with companies and colleges, of course, hand in hand. Availing the services of these agencies will help you in revamping your entire recruitment process with ready-made answers just handed over to you. But your job really doesn't end there, but this can actually help you go a long way. And most important of all, wear a beautiful smile, take a deep breath, and relax. Recruitment can be a tedious work, but it's need not really be something which grinds your brain. Hence, even though all businesses aren't the same, just go with the flow and understand what works best for you. So we did talk about how important it is to have the perfect marketing strategy in place. And here we're going to talk to you about how to prepare an effective recruiting strategy. Recruiting strategy is the key to perfecting your routine. Basically, job requirements and recruiting budgets form the very base of an effective recruitment strategy. With a proper plan in hand, you can proceed smoothly, find the right candidate that fits your requirements, and without wasting time on the not suitable ones, of course. But what happens here is you can also very interestingly create a pipeline of candidates. Determine your recruitment goal and your timeline. An effective recruitment plan should be focused on your core business goals. For efficient timeline, work in reverse. Start from the possible date by which you have to fill the position and moving backwards to the date you intend to announce the position. Take some time out to include an application deadline date and several dates for interviews like background and criminal checks or maybe psychological tests if required. It also looks like you're a very responsible brand when you make efforts to your prospective employees. Update and review your job description. List out the positions that you really need to fill along with a complete job description for each and review them accordingly. Involve the teams that need the positions required. Keep the list reasonable and make sure that the job description includes all of the critical job-related components. Okay, so find out who is your target contact. Now try to reach out to the recruiters or prospective leads and start connecting with them on either LinkedIn or over email and just somehow reach out to them beforehand. You should also seek out for opportunities to meet with them in person, like during meetups, etc. Now, creating an effective advertising plan. It goes hand in hand. The aim of all business is to recruit staff successfully and quickly. Be very careful while creating an advertising plan. Effective recruitment advertising is the tool to help you achieve this result. Ensure that you are generating the right candidates for your company. Social media promotion plan. So, an effective social media promotion plan should contain the summary of everything you plan to do and expect to achieve for your business using these channels. Now, with social media, what has happened is the results have become extremely tangible. Let it be Facebook or LinkedIn, you also have Google Analytics being the big players. What happens is you can literally track where your sessions come from, where your views come from, and with tangible results in hand, I think we can all do our bit to sort of crank up the heat and do better promotions online. Conduct a skill gap analysis. Conducting a skill gap analysis in an organized way to analyze your employees' current skill level and identify those whose skills you want, in the future. Also, you can prioritize skill gaps you discover by creating proper training plans for your employees. This, I think, might get missed, but do not miss out on honing your interviewing techniques. Set up a properly planned interview process. Also try to include others in your interview. And most importantly, develop job-related questions set beforehand to avoid awkward pauses. Keep careful documentation. The final step, and it might sound a little mundane, but for an effective recruitment plan, it's important to keep proper documentations. Always make sure to take note of your interview and interview decisions. Attach them to each interviewer's resume so that you can easily keep tracking them for a more informed hiring decision. I would quickly like to take a minute to thank Radhika for her question. Radhika will shortly answer the question after the webinar. Thank you. So coming back to the presentation, what we have here is we have recruiters. We're going to talk about how to design your roadmap. So what happens here is recruitment cycle is like a game of chess, and you need to have your strategies in place to ensure that you stay ahead in the game. Next, we'll discuss some tips to help you design your recruiting roadmap. This is like a man with a plan has a better vision, right? And that when the cost and time spent on a wrong hire is deep. So it's just better and makes more sense to have a plan in place. Identify and nurture your top performers. Drive referrals is a company-wide initiative, and I must say most of us have tried this in one way or the other. Just do not skip on that. Be mindful of how to use your words to get to the right people and how to get them to actually come to you. So, this way they also get a good picture of what the job entails. Multi-thread your hiring campaigns. What we're trying to say here is, the more number of touch points, the better. So, you could go all out, go for referrals, LinkedIn, websites, Craigslist, any channel that you can think of. Be omnipresent, guys, like the gods, just be omnipresent. Create relationships with every outreach and applicant. This is crucial, guys. I mean, like, it is basic courtesy, it's basic decency if we actually look at it. Follow up with candidates to let them know where they stand and whether or not they get the position. This is very important and it reflects on you as a brand. And you never know, how a candidate that you rejected might become the CEO of some big giant some other day. You don't want to make enemies, do we? So next we have is teach your interview team to be highly efficient and effective. Build elasticity and consistency in your hiring model. Make sure you know how to handle excess demand, have contact recruiters, RPOs, recruiting agencies. You can have hiring consultants in place if you feel the task might get very overwhelming. So since it's the digital age, we can't stress how important social media is for recruitment. A perfect social media strategy is the perfect combination of content, focused business goals, and types of audience. To benefit from social media, you need to build a proper plan focused on what you're trying to achieve, and in our case here, our prospective employees. Because if you use this platform correctly, you can easily create a strong personal connection with your brand and your audience. Define your goals and objectives. Your first step while creating a social media plan should be to define your business goal. Some of the common goals include brand awareness, product promotion, and customer engagement. All of these should be clearly defined in your social media plan properly. Pick the right social media channel. Not all social media channels are the same. You need to pick the right one for the right type of product or service. Like, for example, LinkedIn is good if you're targeting B2B sales, and while Twitter may be better if you want to post some kind of news feeds and updates. Research, and more research. We can't stress this more. Next step of creating an effective social media strategy is, you guessed that right, research. Develop and check a list of social media sites where you can potentially engage with your target employees. Do additional research to determine their relevance by looking for your brand name and your targeted keywords. See what your competitors are doing. Actually, that can give you some great tips. Create the right content plan. Finally, you need to create a strong content plan. By content, we mean not just text, it also means copy, it means design, it could be videos, and all of that. Entirety, it is called, we say content here. That can also deliver engaging materials or information. You can diversify this, like I said, with a mix of videos, infographics, guides, articles, and just go all out, get creative. The content needs to be properly aligned and be appropriate for the channels you're using. Leverage the tools that you have. You can leverage social media promotions by using some great tools. These tools can help you target your audience and keep track of your business and trends. Picking the right tools for your social media management will not only make this several tasks easier, but it can also save you a lot of time. You can use a lot of tools that's available, and it's more or less free if you look at it. You have Hootsuite, you have HubSpot, you have Tweak, Deck, Buffer, and a lot of it. Spend some time on it and you can come up with what works for you best. And guys, what kind of communication and what kind of process is complete without feedback? And that happens when you analyze, measure, report, and then finally, of course, improve. And you need to analyze all of your social media campaigns by measuring the reports and improving, of course. Google Analytics dashboard helps you get insights into how people are sharing and consuming your content. We have done a presentation in detail that talks about how you can go about doing this. You could get in touch with us and we'll share that with you right away. Now that we've discussed that social media is much more than a funny meme, let's see an example here of a leading organization who used social media to recruit, and they did recruit well. Deloitte in the Netherlands had about 4,600 employees by 2010, 2011, and they had a hiring target of 1,000 people. And with a time crunch, the objective was to help to fill the roles at Deloitte and reach the targeted new hire. They wanted a strong employer brand which attracted the right candidate. They wanted to drive more traffic to the career sites. And they faced this challenge head on by creating a dynamic careers page in the website. And they engaged with employees, prospective employees, through social media to generate content and create a good amount of buzz. Let's look at the results. About 234% more traffic coming from social media than any other source. They leveraged the social media activities and engaged with the internal employees and generated a lot of buzz, and ended up having over 15,500 views within a short span of 5 weeks. They wanted to prove that you can measure results, and they did that. They simply used Google Analytics and integrated it with their ATS, applicant tracking system, to measure where their candidates are coming from. Deloitte created a real human feeling with personalized bios, photos, a nice, sort of a cultural. They sort of displayed the culture so it can relate to people, and easy ways to contact and connect with them. So let's look at some online tools to help you prepare for the hiring season that's coming up. If there is a way to do one task, everyone looks for an easier way to finish. How would you feel if you could find a way of recruiting within the comfort of your cabin? I said that right, guys, from the very comfort of your cabin. So next up, we've listed 3 tools which have proven its worth in times of time, distance, and cost efficiency for hiring the right candidate. Video interviewing. So first up is video interviewing, which we believe every recruiter must exploit to their advantage. Get access to more top talent faster. Today's most talented candidates are busy and in demand. This approach is far more convenient for candidates, which means talented candidates with time constraint will be more likely to agree to video interviews rather than meeting face to face. Screen more effectively and efficiently. Now, because all applicants answer the same questions, employers can easily compare interviews on a case-by-case basis. Seeing and hearing a candidate on video gives you a much better sense of engagement and enthusiasm than a mere pen paper test or a phone interview for that matter. You can reduce discrimination. Geographical discrimination is a form of bias the video screening process is best at reducing. Candidates applying from outside or abroad have the same video interviewing experience as any local candidate. And this way, your reach is more without leaving the comfort of your office. It helps strengthen your brand. To maintain a strong company brand, a customized video interviewing platform that includes the company branding video is essential to helping the employee feel valued and welcomed. It's also very inviting. It makes the workplace look very inviting. And yeah, so that would be a great way to add some color to your otherwise very monotonous recruitment process. Easy collaboration with your team members. So other team members can easily view and comment on video recordings and letting them find time. So when they can give their full attention to providing inputs on the process of specific applicants. This is when you want, say, your tech lead to take a look at a candidate, and they are very expensively built resources that you have. So this way, they at their ease, at their very own time, they can probably review a candidate, and this is very helpful here. Online assessment tools. So what online assessment tools such as CodeGround has been swatting the market recently, helping recruiter assess and recruit in an automated way with instant reports and analysis. Let's look at some of the few advantages of an online assessment portal. It removes the burden of tests administered and increases flexibility. Automatic scoring of the tests. Detailed reports and its analysis are delivered at the touch of a button straight to your desktop. Automated grading process which eliminates human errors in grading. It can eliminate over 80% of unqualified bad hires. Objective hiring based on scientific test results, and we have subject matter experts banking that. And if all that happens, you naturally minimize the risk of a bad hire. That's just one of the side perks, but a wonderful perk nonetheless. So we have, like I've been saying, done a detailed webinar on online assessment platforms. What is it? How does it help? How can you benefit? Also, like if you didn't know, we ourselves are an online assessment platform, and you can get in touch with us and we will give you a quick demo of what we do and how we do what we do best. So to understand this better, we have brought an example of a leading e-commerce giant who overcame a talent shortage using an online assessment tool. Let's look at this short case study that we have here. So one of the world's leading e-commerce and cloud computing giant needed 10 shortlisted senior software developer engineers with an experience bracket of 3 to 8 years urgently for their organization. They contacted CodeGround to help them conduct an online drive to hire the same, and this they wanted the right way. The profile itself required highly qualified candidates with specific skill sets, and the design was simple: to promote their brand as well as handpick candidates who match their specific requirements amongst thousands of applicants. What CodeGround did here is we embraced this opportunity to create a test as per the specifications provided, and over 1,000 plus candidates attempted the test. Candidates were tested using innovative test methodologies and extensive analysis of their performance, coupled with psychometric analysis. Let's look at the results. Over 1,000 plus candidates attempted the test using the public test link created. 43 candidates passed the test. That just shows the difficulty level. That was because the requirement was such. 82% candidates who took up the test gave positive feedback on the platform. And remember, guys, this is despite not clearing the test. It's tough to get a positive feedback not clear the test, but that just works in our favor. The evaluators were pleased with the volume of candidate engagement and the buzz that was created. 70% of the candidates screened were called for a second round of interview. 23 candidates were called for a face-to-face. CodeGround achieved this target in 14 days. The drive helped the client in saving 68% of the traditional recruiting costs. And when we say 14 days, that works out to be about 2 weeks, and that shows how we did save up on time as well. Next, we have how applicant tracking systems are helpful. Many employers have already implemented or are thinking of implementing new recruiting solutions and tools, and ATS is one among them. Let's actually look at some of the benefits. It helps streamline and automates the recruiting process by providing a powerful software interface that helps manage the recruiting process and ensures best practices. It helps employers focus on growing a quality workplace instead of overburdening their schedule with the administrators related to the hiring process. It assists in finding candidates by leveraging the existing traffic due to its integration with job boards, job board aggregators, social media channels, etc. It is cost efficient and improves the cost per hire by automating time-consuming tasks and reducing the usual recruitment-related costs. It reduces the time taken to hire since the overload of sorting and filtering through the resumes is automated. It automates data collection by receiving applications in multiple ways, requiring no efforts, you could say less efforts, from neither employers nor candidates, thus eliminating data entry errors as well. After all, to err is human, right? Super recruiter that you may be, you're still human, right? Candidates, what happens here is it centralizes all candidates in a single talent database where employers can easily find, filter, and screen them. So some trends come and go, some trends are here to stay. The trends that are our top favorites are going to be discussed here. And some things may go out of fashion, but never out of style. First, we have the boss that is sort of, reigning over the tech recruitment space, and that's none other than hackathons. So what it does is it creates the right nurturing environment. It represents a win-win situation for both the employer and the candidate. You get to test your future candidates in the right setup. You can get to promote your brand. You get to test abilities to turn concepts into actions. Showcase what a candidate would be like on the job, and what better way than to go and look at them perform in a hackathon firsthand. Virtual hackathons are a great avenue to tap international candidates without much investment and get high returns at the same time. Engage in interactive hackathons to gauge your candidate's fit more fully. Next, we have internships, and it's one of the most useful ways if you want to be exploited by recruiters, and it can be safely said that it will never ever go out of trend. Future talent leads for the company. Internships provide this base for future talent leads for your company. It's extra pairs of hands for execution. You test out new ideas and roles in the company this way, because internships brings in millennials, who in turn bring in a breath of fresh air. And that is what we're trying to say when we say out of the box thinking. And the best of all, we just get to test drive our future employees, and that's fun, right? Below is a list of the top, online job portals for internships. So you can take a look at it at your own time. Let's go next to networking. Remember that candidates might come and go, but your network is like a lifetime investment for your organization. Therefore, as a super recruiter, you need to make time every day to network purposefully, as we say. So here we will discuss various pointers on how to build a network to come up with substantial results. Practice the law of reciprocity. So this is a social psychological principle which basically urges us to connect with each other on a more holistic and a human way. If you present yourself as someone who's honest and sincere, who also takes the time to help others when they need it without seeking anything in return, it inspires people and builds trust. Define your networking methodology. Compile a list of existing contacts which can turn into potential candidates, and research targeted new contacts among them, like leaders, authors, friends of friends, etc. Widen your horizon. Meet people in person, one-on-ones, telephone calls, a virtual event, a webinar, a seminar, group discussions, whatever it takes. Keep track of your contacts. When a contact gives you a lead or referral, be sure to ask for permission to use the contact's name. And for each contact, identify next steps and develop a reliable follow-up system as well. Next, it's important to conduct due diligence. For inside knowledge of target candidates, include consultants as well. Also be sure to read print and online publications, visit professional association websites, and check conference exhibitors, etc. Maximize social networking to increase quality contacts. You need to know where to look for. Like, for example, LinkedIn, if you want to send a message to a fellow group member without being linked. Build real relationships. In the age of Twitter, Facebook, and other social platforms, There may be a tendency for some to rely too much on online outlets and missing out a little bit on a human touch. Networks are critical to your business success, so make it a part of your long term career strategy. Maintain credibility. Be consistent across all platforms while staying in touch and keeping up with your current activities. This is time consuming. Repeatedly starting to network from scratch every time you need or you want a different position filled requires much more time and effort, and it's far less effective. So it's important to have this sort of uniformity across all platforms. We have been saying a lot about what to do and how to do. And all that being said and done, we know that the super recruiters are humans, right? Like we are not about making mistakes of our own. Here we are going to discuss some points which will help you keep a lookout while recruiting season hits its peak. Error number one, not treating great applicants like great customers, overlooking the traditional recruitment practices, failing to understand the cost benefit of a new employee before you actually make a hire, not hiring employees that thrive at the current stage of the company's life cycle, failing to strengthen your employee brand with content marketing, missing out on looking for the right cultural fit in your candidates, ignoring passive candidates, using interviews and interviewers with poor interviewing skills. We all know working smart is a new need. However, hard work pays. But in today's race, guys, smartly working hard is required. That is, look at some ways one can amp up the recruitment game to make it a little more smart. Chase down the unrecruitables. The rising star who's disinterested today may be a motivated candidate next week. Chase down the passive candidates who are skilled and trained. Follow up with references. Give a positive and a gratifying work experience. Gratifying work experiences will give clarity, drive, and happiness to all candidates of your organization. If the work is meaningful, they'll be able to, stick with it longer, which means you are more likely to be successful as an end result. What happens on the inside doesn't stay on the inside. As candidates post about great organizations they work for, they also post about the not so good ones, especially on mediums like Glassdoor, amongst others. Ensure that progression in a candidate's career can be transformed into a positive experience, and that each message you put through a social channel really mirrors the way of life that you have based your organization on. Millennials do not want to work for dinosaurs, right? Millennials are well-informed social beings and they need to work for organizations that are tech-savvy. Utilize social media channels that allow candidates to submit their resumes online through various social platforms or autofill the relevant information from their LinkedIn profiles. Recruit the competition. They say that know who your stars are and make sure they're well taken care of and well paid. Hiring an employee from a rival firm can mean bringing on someone who already knows your industry, your business, and can bring valuable new knowledge and even clients to you. It doesn't hurt to be sneaky sometimes. It's a cutthroat world, right? And finally, do not miss out on employee engagement. With all the difficulty, we've just found our shining gems, and we would want to make everything that we can in our hands to sort of engage and retain our employees, don't we? Retain the very best. Workflows retainship is a issue for any business. Having a suitable employee engagement program in place will ensure you retain the employees that are key to your business. Attract qualified employees. Your happy workplace won't just be admired from within. Businesses that put employee engagement higher on the list of priorities tend to find it easier to attract new employees that are, qualified, passionate, enthusiastic, etc. This will make your recruitment a breeze. Provide a better service for all. The quality of service offered to customers is a primary focus in everyday's business activities for all companies. The motivation, the enthusiasm, and the commitment you show by your engaged employees will make the world of difference in your customer service success. Create a harmonious work environment. The negative atmosphere created by those who are disengaged can have a detrimental effect on your work environment. As the saying goes, one bad apple is likely to spoil the whole bunch, but with better engagement, you can keep the team's morale high. Develop your workforce. Employee engagement doesn't just work wonders for company success. Your employees will have the rewarding opportunity to develop new skills and enhance their existing ones, a prospect that will only add to their self-confidence and enthusiasm. Outperform your competitors. I mean, you must be tired of hearing this from your boss, but the employee engagement exists at best companies reveals that firms with highly engaged employees financially perform better. Success for you, your business, and your employees is an all-encompassing benefit of introducing a great engagement plan. So we've been saying a lot and we've discussed a lot of things. And to make it easier for you, we've quickly come up with a sort of a summary, like things to remember, like good old school days. And this is to kickstart a great successful recruitment process from your end. The problem isn't not enough candidates, guys, but not knowing how to land the quality ones. To increase your candidate response rate, you should be following up on every candidate interaction every time possible. Increase the number of candidate touch points. Try and use videos in different stages of your hiring process. Evolution, iteration, and change. That should be your mantra. Don't rush, and remember the cost of a bad hire is steep. Better late than sorry. So we have this small request for everyone attending the webinar. Thanks a lot for putting through this whole session. Do take a few minutes and give us your valuable feedback. We'll be getting in touch with you shortly for that. We hope that you found this webinar useful, and thanks a lot for participating. Have a great day and happy recruiting. Thank you.